This video is about the janitor was mocked but a rich lady stopped and smiled. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. In the heart of Oakwood City, where skyscrapers kissed the clouds and dreams often got lost in the shuffle, there was a small but bustling office building known as Crestview Plaza. Here, the scent of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the hurried footsteps of professionals dressed in sharp suits. Among them, as unnoticed as a whisper in a storm, was Leonard, the building's janitor. Leonard was a small, unassuming man with a mop of unruly grey hair and a smile that carried the warmth of a summer's day. He was known for his quiet demeanour and a knack for turning mundane tasks into small spectacles of kindness. Every morning, he arrived promptly at 7, his worn-out uniform barely holding onto its fabric, and set about the day's work. With each flick of his mop and each wipe of a cloth, Leonard poured his heart into creating a clean and welcoming environment for the tenants of Crestview Plaza. But life had not always been kind to Leonard. Years ago, he had been a promising artist, pouring his soul onto canvases that spoke of hope and dreams. However, the world of art had been unforgiving, and after a series of rejections, he found himself drifting away from that passion. Bills piled up, and the dream of becoming a renowned artist faded into the background, overshadowed by the weight of responsibility. As Leonard cleaned, he found solace in the rhythm of his work. The solitude of the early hours suited him. He often imagined himself painting again, picturing bold strokes of color and light dancing on a canvas. Yet the world outside the janitor's closet could be harsh. Within the walls of Crestview Plaza, the suits and ties often looked down upon him. Leonard had grown accustomed to their dismissive glances and the occasional chuckle at his expense. Some would make snide remarks, assuming he was just another invisible cog in the corporate machine. "Hey, mop man, try not to trip over your own feet," one particularly brash office worker sneered as he passed. Leonard offered a gentle smile, but inside his heart sank. He had long learned that harboring resentment would only weigh him down. Instead, he focused on what he could control, his kindness and how he treated others. On that particular Tuesday morning, as Leonard was busily kneeling on the floor to scrub the tiles, he overheard a group of employees laughing. Their voices were sharp, and he could catch snippets of their conversation. "Did you see the janitor's shoes? They look like they're older than he is," one jeered. "Why does he even bother? He is just a janitor," another replied, their laughter echoing through the lobby. Leonard tried to brush off their words, but they pierced through his resolve. He felt the weight of their judgments, a reminder of his dreams that had slipped through his fingers like grains of sand. But just as he was about to stand up, a soft voice broke through the harsh atmosphere. "Excuse me," it said, melodic and calming. Leonard looked up to see a woman standing there, her aura radiant, adorned in an elegant dress that shimmered in the soft morning light. She had an air of confidence that was refreshing, and her eyes sparkled with kindness. "Is everything all right?" she asked, turning her attention to him with a genuine smile that seemed to illuminate the dreary lobby. The laughter behind her faded into silence as the employees exchanged confused glances, unsure of how to react. Leonard blinked, taken aback by her concern. "It's just cleaning up," he replied, his voice barely above a whisper. She knelt beside him, her gaze unwavering. "You're doing a wonderful job. This place looks great because of you," she said, her sincerity radiating like sunlight on a cold day. The group of employees looked stunned, their mockery momentarily silenced by her kindness. The woman continued, "I am a leaner. I come here often for meetings. I've noticed your hard work." Leonard felt his heart swell with gratitude. "Thank you, Miss Alina. It is my pleasure. I believe everyone deserves a clean space." Alina smiled warmly, her eyes twinkling. "That is a beautiful way to think, you know. I once believed my worth was tied to my job title, but I learned that it is how we treat others that truly defines us." A spark of hope flickered within Leonard at her words. He had spent years feeling diminished by his role, but her kindness reminded him of the importance of every single person in this world, regardless of their occupation. "Do you paint?" Alina asked suddenly, her curiosity piqued. Leonard hesitated, surprised by the question. "I used to," he said slowly. "But life had took me in a different direction." She nodded, understanding etched on her face. "I can imagine, but it is never too late to start again. You know, your art could inspire someone, maybe even yourself." Her encouragement felt like a lifeline thrown into turbulent waters. For the first time in years, Leonard allowed himself to dream of picking up a brush again. As they spoke, the employees behind Alina began to shuffle awkwardly, the earlier bravado diminished by the unexpected kindness unfolding before them. A few exchanged glances, perhaps beginning to reconsider their judgments of the janitor. "Thank you, Alina," Leonard said, his voice a mix of gratitude and newfound determination. "You've brightened my day." Alina stood brushing off her dress. "You deserve to be reminded of your worth. I'll be back next week, and I hope to see you with a paintbrush in hand." With that, she turned and walked away, leaving Leonard feeling lighter, as if the heavy coat of discouragement that had draped over him for years had finally begun to lift. The mockers, still stunned, slowly dispersed, leaving Leonard to his thoughts. He could feel a shift within him. Alina's kindness had ignited a spark. Maybe it was time to chase that long-lost dream, to reclaim his passion for art, and to remind himself that he was more than just a janitor, he was a creator at heart. As Leonard resumed his cleaning, his spirits soared high. The tiles sparkled brighter than ever, but it wasn't just the shine of the floors, it was the light of hope glowing within him. He vowed to himself that he would spend his evening sketching once more. Perhaps he could find a way to balance his job as a janitor and his dreams of being an artist. The journey wouldn't be easy, but Alina had kindled a warmth in his heart, and with that warmth came the strength to persevere. With each sweep of his mop, he imagined colours swelling around him, canvases waiting to be touched. The day ahead was still long, but Leonard felt ready. Ready to face the jeers, ready to embrace his dreams, and ready to paint a future filled with possibilities. Little did he know that this small act of kindness, this fleeting connection with a rich lady, would be the catalyst for a transformative journey, one that would touch not only his life but also the lives of those who witnessed the unfolding of human spirit and resilience. As the days turned into weeks, Leonard found a renewed sense of purpose. Each morning, as the sun broke over Oakwood City, he awoke with a spark of excitement. His sketchpad now lay beside his bed, a reminder of Alina's words that echoed in his mind. It is never too late to start again. He began to carve out time for art. After his shifts ended, Leonard would dive into the quiet refuge of his small studio apartment, surrounded by the comforting scent of paint and turpentine. He would pour his heart onto the canvas, letting the colors unravel the emotions bottled up inside him for so long. On one particularly rainy evening, Leonard found himself facing an empty canvas, its dark whiteness a reminder of his fears. Doubts crept into his mind, whispering that he was no longer the artist he once was. Just then, he heard the faint sound of laughter outside his window. He paused, listening intently. The laughter belonged to a group of children playing in the puddles below, their joy radiating like sunshine breaking through the clouds. Inspired by the carefree spirits, Leonard dipped his brush into a vibrant blue, splashing it across the canvas with newfound energy. He painted the children dancing amidst the rain, their faces alight with joy. As colors bled into each other, he felt the heaviness in his heart lift, replaced by a sense of liberation. Meanwhile, Alina continued her sporadic visits to Crestview Plaza. Each time she arrived, she greeted Leonard with the same warmth and sincerity that had so profoundly affected him. As they chatted, Leonard felt more comfortable sharing snippets of his artistic journey, exchanging ideas and techniques as if they were old friends. One day, while they shared coffee in the lobby, Alina leaned in, her eyes shimmering with excitement. "I have a little art show coming up in a few weeks. Would you like to showcase some of your work? I believe it would inspire others." Leonard's heart raced, a mixture of anxiety and exhilaration coursing through him. "Me? An art show?" he stammered, feeling unworthy of such an opportunity. "I haven't exhibited in years." "Exactly. That's why you should do it," Alina encouraged, her enthusiasm contagious. "Your art deserves to be seen. You have a gift, Leonard, and the world needs to experience it." The thought of exhibiting filled him with dread and excitement. He was afraid of rejection, of being laughed at again. But Alina's unwavering faith in him ignited a flicker of courage deep within, a reminder of the resilience he had cultivated over the years. As the days passed, Leonard worked tirelessly. He painted late into the night, pouring every ounce of himself into each brushstroke. The vibrant colors on his canvases reflected the transformation happening within him. He painted not just for the show, but for himself, each piece a testament to his journey, a celebration of perseverance. However, the road was not without its challenges. In the midst of his artistic frenzy, Leonard still faced the disapproving stares of the office workers at Crestview Plaza. Whispers followed him as he cleaned, their barbed words slicing through the air like knives. "Look at him, still mopping floors," one sneered. "He'll never amount to anything." Leonard clenched his jaw, but he remembered Alina's words, the definition of worth. With each insult, he reminded himself that he was not just a janitor, he was an artist, a creator of beauty. Yet there were days when the weight of those comments felt heavier. The pressures of balancing work and art sometimes blurred the lines, causing him to falter. He wrestled with the fear of inadequacy, wondering if he would ever truly belong in the world of art. One evening, Leonard stood before a blank canvas, paralyzed by doubt. He picked up his brush, but it felt foreign in his grasp. Just as despair threatened to overcome him, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Alina. "Leonard, I believe in you. Remember the joy you create with every stroke. The world is waiting for your story. Don't let fear diminish your light." With a surge of determination, he took a deep breath, letting Alina's words wash over him. He dipped his brush into the paint, and as he began to move, something inside him shifted. The fear melted away, replaced by a vivid vision of hope. The night of the art show arrived, and Leonard stood in the gallery, surrounded by his paintings. The walls were adorned with vibrant landscapes, whimsical portraits, and scenes that captured the very essence of humanity. Each piece was a reflection of his journey, infused with the spirit of resilience and hope. As the evening unfolded, people began to trickle in, their laughter echoing through the gallery. Alina arrived, her face lighting up as she spotted Leonard. "You did it," she exclaimed, pulling him into an enthusiastic hug. "I knew you could." Leonard felt the warmth of her embrace seep into his being, filling him with an overwhelming sense of belonging. As he stepped into the crowd, he felt like a ghost emerging from the shadows. The laughter and chatter enveloped him, and for the first time in years, he felt seen. People admired his artwork, sharing their interpretations and feelings stirred by his creations. "This piece captures the essence of childhood," one woman said, her eyes welling with tears as she gazed at a painting of children playing in the rain. "It reminds me of my own childhood." Leonard's heart soared at the connection his art forged with others. He moved from one conversation to another, sharing the stories behind his paintings, moments of joy, heartache, and resilience. With each connection, he felt the weight of past mockery lift, replaced by the beauty of shared human experience. As the evening drew to a close, Alina approached him once more. "You are incredible tonight, Leonard. Your art has the power to touch lives," she said, her eyes glistening with pride. "Thank you, Alina. I couldn't have done this without your encouragement," he replied, his voice tinged with gratitude. "You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself." Alina smiled, her warmth radiating. "You are a testament to the power of kindness, Leonard. You remind us all that there is beauty in resilience and strength in vulnerability." As the night faded, Leonard felt an overwhelming sense of peace. The journey had been challenging, filled with ups and downs, but he now understood that it was the struggles that had shaped him. Each challenge had been a stepping stone toward the fulfillment of his dreams. In the weeks that followed, Leonard continued to paint, embracing every stroke with the newfound confidence that had blossomed within him. He filled his walls with vibrant works, each canvas a declaration of his journey. The laughter and jabs from the office workers began to fade into the background, replaced by the sound of his own heartbeat echoing the rhythm of hope. One afternoon, as he was cleaning at Crispy Plaza, he noticed the same group of employees who had once mocked him. They stood in front of his paintings, their expressions transformed from disdain to awe. "I never knew he had this talent," one whispered, a hint of embarrassment in her voice. Leonard smiled gently as he continued his work, knowing that true growth often came from unexpected places. He had turned the pain of mockery into a canvas of strength, and he was no longer defined by their judgments. He was Leonard the janitor, the artist, the dreamer. With each passing day, he found strength not just in his art, but in the connections he made along the way. The beauty of human spirit thrived in his heart, illuminating the path ahead. Leonard had learned that kindness, resilience, and the courage to embrace one's dreams could truly transform lives. And as the sun set over Oakwood City, casting a warm golden light, Leonard stood before his newest canvas, a vibrant testament to the power of hope. With every stroke, he painted not just a picture, but a legacy of inspiration for all those who dared to dream, no matter their circumstances. As the weeks turned into months, Leonard's life began to change in ways he had never anticipated. He had traded in the whispers of mockery for the sounds of admiration, and the transformative power of art began to shape not only his world but also the environment around him. Every day at Crestview Plaza was a little brighter, not just because of the colourful canvases that hung in the gallery, but because of the newfound respect he felt from his colleagues. One rainy afternoon, while he was polishing the glass doors at the entrance, a familiar face approached him. It was Frank, one of the office workers who had once laughed at him. "Hey, Leonard," Frank said, hesitantly. "I just wanted to say your art is incredible. I saw your exhibit last month. I had no idea you had such talent." Leonard paused, surprised but pleased by the compliment. "Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. Art has always been a part of me, just buried for a while." I guess I didn't understand before, Frank admitted, his demeanor more earnest than Leonard had ever seen. I am sorry for how I treated you. It was wrong. Leonard smiled, feeling the warmth of forgiveness bloom within him. We all have our moments. I am just glad you enjoyed my work. As Frank walked away, Leonard felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. It was moments like this that filled him with hope, reminding him how far he had come. He had transformed from the invisible janitor into an artist whose work resonated with others, bridging gaps and healing wounds. However, even with this newfound respect, Leonard faced challenges. The pressure to keep creating weighed heavily on him. He often found himself staring at blank canvases, afraid to ruin the magic he had once created. Fear crept back into his mind, whispering doubts about his talent and worthiness. One evening, after a long day of cleaning and little inspiration, Leonard sat on the edge of his bed, staring at his empty studio. What if it was all just a fluke, he murmured to himself, his heart heavy. What if I can't do it again? Just then, his phone chimed with a message from Alina. Don't forget, Leonard, your art is a reflection of your journey. Embrace the imperfections and let them tell your story. Leonard took a deep breath, savoring her words like a favorite song. He reached for his brush, letting the colors swirl together on the palette. He began painting not for an audience or a show, but for himself. The strokes were wild and free, each one a release of the tension built up inside. He lost track of time, feeling the weight of doubt lift as he allowed creativity to flow through him. By the time he stepped back to admire his work, a sunset landscape filled with soft hues of orange and pink reflected in the sky, he felt a sense of accomplishment. Maybe it's okay to be vulnerable, he said aloud, smiling at the canvas. Perhaps that's where the beauty lies. As Leonard continued to explore his artistic journey, he also began volunteering at local community centers, teaching children how to paint. He found immense joy in sharing his passion and encouraging young minds to express themselves. Among these children was a girl named Mia, who had a wild imagination and an insatiable curiosity about the world around her. One afternoon, as they painted together, Mia looked up at him with wide eyes. Mr. Leonard, do you think I can be an artist when I grow up? What if I am not good enough? Her voice was filled with the innocence of youth, but also the seed of doubt that often plagued many. Leonard knelt beside her, his heart aching with understanding. Mia, every great artist has felt that way at some point. What matters is that you keep trying, let your heart guide you, and don't worry about what others think, just create. Mia smiled brightly, her earlier trepidation melting away. Okay, I want to paint a dragon flying over a rainbow. Then let us do it. Leonard encouraged, and together they smeared vibrant colors across the canvas, their laughter echoing in the small room. Months passed, and Leonard's art continued to flourish. His pieces began to tell stories, weaving together themes of resilience and hope, drawing from his own experiences. He had learned to embrace his journey, including the struggles and triumphs, and it resonated deeply with those who viewed his work. But just as he felt stable, life threw another challenge his way. One morning, he received a call from Alina, her voice tremulous. Leonard, I am afraid I have some unfortunate news. My mother has fallen ill, and I need to take care of her for a while. Leonard's heart sank at the thought of his dear friend facing hardship. I am so sorry to hear that, Alina. Is there anything I can do to help? Just keep painting. I'll be back when I can. But I need you to focus on your journey, she replied, her voice filled with warmth despite her sorrow. Of course, take care of yourself and your family. I'll be here, he assured her, though he couldn't shake the feeling of unease that settled in his heart. With Alina away, Leonard struggled to find his footing. He felt a void without her encouragement and friendship. The once vibrant colors on his canvases felt muted, and the joy of creating it away replaced by a sense of loss. He fought against the tide, but the weight of worry pulled him down. One evening, in a moment of desperation, Leonard drove to a local park seeking solace among nature's beauty. As he wandered through the trees, he stumbled upon a group of children playing, their laughter ringing through the air. He watched as they chased each other, their faces aglow with delight, and suddenly he was reminded of Mia and their time spent painting. He took a deep breath, closing his eyes as he listened to their joy. In that moment, a spark ignited within him. He pulled out his sketchbook and began to draw, channeling the essence of happiness he observed. The more he sketched, the more he felt Alina's words resonate within him. Let your heart guide you. The following day, Leonard returned to the community center, armed with his sketches. He gathered the children around him, including Mia, and shared his experience from the park. Art comes from the world around us, he explained, his voice steady. It is a way to capture the joy we feel even during tough times. Together, they ventured outside with their paints, creating a mural on a large canvas depicting scenes of happiness, resilience, and friendship. The children poured their hearts into every stroke, and Leonard felt the heaviness in his chest lift as their laughter mingled with the vibrant colors splashing across the canvas. That evening, as the sun set, Leonard stood back to admire their masterpiece in an explosion of color and joy. He was overwhelmed with gratitude, realizing that he had rediscovered his purpose through the very connection he had hoped to inspire in others. When Alina returned a few weeks later, her eyes widened with astonishment upon seeing the mural. "Leonard, this is incredible. You've turned the community center into a beacon of light." Leonard beamed with pride. "It was the children they reminded me what art truly is, that it's about connection and sharing joy." Alina hugged him tightly, her warmth enveloping him. "You've grown so much, Leonard. I am proud of you." As they stood before the mural, Leonard felt a newfound sense of purpose blossoming within him. Art was not just about personal fulfillment, it was about fostering connections, nurturing dreams, and uplifting spirits. With Alina back by his side, he continued to teach and inspire, but now he also hosted community art events. He encouraged others to express their stories through art, transforming the center into a sanctuary of creativity and hope. As the seasons changed, Leonard's life flourished. The laughter of children echoed through the halls, and the vibrant colors he had painted became symbols of resilience and unity in the community. The bonds he forged with his students inspired him to explore even deeper themes in his work, drawing from the shared human experience. One day, while preparing for an open house at the community center, Leonard received an unexpected email. It was an invitation from a prestigious art gallery expressing interest in showcasing his work. His heart raced as he read the words, disbelief washing over him. "Leonard, this is it?" Lena exclaimed when he shared the news, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "You've earned this moment." "I can't believe it," he said, feeling a mix of joy and apprehension. "What if they don't like my work?" "Then you show them who you are, and you let your art speak for itself," she encouraged, her faith unwavering. "Remember, this journey is yours, own it." With her support, Leonard prepared for the exhibition, pouring his heart into each piece, each brushstroke echoing the resilience he had cultivated over the years. On the night of the exhibition, he stood before a crowd of art enthusiasts, sharing the stories behind the paintings, and felt an overwhelming sense of belonging wash over him. As he spoke, he noticed familiar faces in the crowd. Mia's bright smile, Frank's nod of acknowledgement, and the children who had once played in the park, all gathered to support him. The presence reminded him of the community they had built together, and he felt a surge of gratitude. When the night continued, Leonard felt an electric energy coursing through the air. As he shared the stories behind each painting, the audience leaned in, captivated. The emotions he conveyed flowed through the room like an unseen current, binding everyone in a shared experience. "Art, to me, has always been about connection," he began, his voice steady yet passionate. "It is about the stories we carry and how we share them. Each stroke is a piece of my journey, a testament to resilience, hope, and the human spirit." He paused, glancing around the room, and his gaze landed on Alina. She stood at the back, her eyes shimmering with pride as she nodded encouragingly. Leonard felt a swell of gratitude surge within him. It was Alina's belief in him that had reignited his passion, fueling the artist he had nearly forgotten. The crowd responded with enthusiastic applause as he continued. "I never imagined I would have the privilege of sharing my work with you today. It is surreal. A few years ago, I was just a janitor, lost in the shadows of corporate life, and now I stand before you as an artist." A woman from the crowd raised her hand. "Leonard, your journey is so inspiring. How did you manage to overcome the negativity from those who doubted you?" Leonard smiled, recalling the laughter that once echoed through Crestview Plaza. "It wasn't easy. There were days when the words pierced my heart like arrows, but I learned that my worth isn't defined by others. I found strength in kindness, perseverance in my passion for art, and the support of those who truly believed in me." As he spoke, he saw Frank in the front row, nodding along. After the exhibition, Frank had approached him, this time with a look of respect in his eyes. "Leonard, I am sorry for the past. Your work is incredible, and I wish I had understood sooner." Leonard had smiled, feeling the weight of forgiveness settle in. "Thank you, Frank. Growth often comes from our mistakes, doesn't it?" "Yes," Frank replied, his voice sincere. "And you've shown me that art has the power to uplift and unite us. I'll never take it for granted again." Another voice interrupted the moment, pulling Leonard back to the present. "What is next for you, Leonard?" the young man asked, his enthusiasm palpable. Leonard pondered for a moment, reflecting on his journey. I want to continue sharing my art, but I also want to inspire others to discover their own creativity. I believe everyone has a story worth telling, and art can be a powerful vehicle for that expression. As the night wore on, Leonard felt an overwhelming sense of connection. The stories exchanged, the laughter shared, and the bonds formed were the very essence of what he had sought to achieve. He realized that while his art was a reflection of his journey, it had also become a bridge to connect with others, sparking hope and resilience in their hearts. After the exhibition came to a close, Leonard found himself standing by the entrance, greeting guests as they departed. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement and admiration, and he felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. Alina approached, her eyes sparkling. "You did it, Leonard. I am so proud of you. You've become an inspiration to so many." "I couldn't have done it without you, Alina," Leonard replied, the weight of gratitude heavy in his chest. "You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself." "No," she said, shaking her head gently. "You believed in yourself. I just helped you see what was already there." As the last of the guests trickled out, Leonard and Alina stood together, taking in the remnants of the night, the laughter, the conversations, and the energy that lingered in the air. "Do you remember our first conversation?" Alina asked, a nostalgic smile spreading across her face. "You were just a janitor, and look at you now." "I'll never forget it," Leonard chuckled. "That moment changed everything for me. You lifted my spirits when I needed it most." "Art has a way of doing that," Alina mused. "It has the power to heal, to bring people together, and to remind us of our shared humanity." "Speaking of which," Leonard said, his expression turning serious, "I want to continue using my art to give back. I started volunteering at the community center, teaching kids how to paint. It has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life." Alina's face lit up. "That is wonderful. You're recreating a ripple effect of kindness. Those children will carry your lessons with them for years to come." "Yes, and I've learned so much from them too," Leonard admitted. "They remind me that art is about exploration and joy, not perfection. It is about embracing vulnerability and allowing creativity to flow freely." As they spoke, Leonard felt a sense of purpose reaffirming within him. He knew he had a duty to inspire, to uplift, and to nurture the creative spirits around him. "Let us plan a community art festival," Alina suggested, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "We can invite local artists, host workshops, and create a space for everyone to express themselves. That would be an incredible way to bring people together." Leonard's heart raced at the thought. "That sounds amazing. We could include art stations for kids, live painting displays, and even open mic sessions for storytelling. It could be a celebration of creativity." "Yes, we'll make it happen." Alina clasped her hands together, her enthusiasm infectious. "Imagine the joy we could spread." As they brainstormed ideas late into the evening, Leonard felt invigorated. It was a beautiful reminder of the collective power of creativity, and he couldn't wait to channel his energy into this new endeavor. In the following weeks, Leonard and Alina worked tirelessly to organize the festival. They reached out to local artists, gathered supplies, and spread the word through flyers and social media. The excitement in the community grew, and as the event day approached, Leonard felt a mix of exhilaration and nerves. On the morning of the festival, the sun shone brilliantly over Oakwood City, casting a warm glow on Crestview Plaza. Leonard arrived early, his heart racing as he surveyed the space. Colorful banners swayed in the gentle breeze, and tables adorned with art supplies were set up around the plaza. As families began to arrive, Leonard felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Children ran through the grassy areas, laughter ringing in the air as they eagerly grabbed paintbrushes and canvases. Parents mingled, sharing smiles and stories, creating an atmosphere of joy and celebration. "Leonard?" Mia shouted, running towards him with a beaming smile. "I can't wait to paint today." "Me neither, Mia. Let us create something amazing together," he replied, feeling his heart swell with pride. Throughout the day, Leonard moved from station to station, encouraging children and adults alike to express themselves through art. He facilitated painting workshops, where participants created colorful masterpieces that reflected their emotions and stories. As he guided them, he saw the same spark of creativity that had ignited within him years ago. "Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect," he reminded them, kneeling beside a young boy who hesitated to paint a canvas. "Just let your heart lead the way." With newfound confidence, the boy picked up his brush and began making bold strokes, laughter erupting as splashes of color flew. Leonard couldn't help but smile, knowing that this moment would ignite a love for art that could last a lifetime. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Leonard stood back to admire the vibrant tapestry of creativity that had unfolded throughout the day. The plaza was filled with laughter, joy, and connection, an embodiment of the resilience of the human spirit. Felina joined him, her eyes reflecting the beauty surrounding them. "This is incredible, Leonard. Look at what we've created together." "Yes, it is more than I ever imagined," he replied, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "Today has shown me that art truly brings people together." As the festival came to a close, Leonard gathered everyone for a final moment. "Thank you all for participating today. Your creativity has filled this space with love and connection. Remember, art is not just a pastime, it is a way to share your story with the world." The crowd erupted in applause, their faces glowing with delight. Leonard beamed, his heart overflowing with gratitude, knowing that today was just the beginning of a greater journey. From that moment on, the Community Art Festival became an annual tradition. Each year, it grew bigger and more vibrant, bringing together artists, families, and dreamers from all walks of life. Leonard had found his purpose not just as an artist, but as a beacon of hope, inspiring others to embrace their creativity and share their stories. And as the sun set over Oakwood City, casting a golden glow on the festivities, Leonard stood surrounded by laughter and love, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the beauty that could flourish when kindness, creativity, and connection thrive together.